Hi everyone, it's Miss Sote. So we started these notes in class and we got through page 1 and we're still working on how to convert from one form to the other because as you've seen in some homeworks and in some class assignments, sometimes one form is much more useful than the other, but you're not always given your equation in that form. So we practiced with converting from factored to standard form and vertex form to standard form. That was a lot of review. The next one that's kind of a lot of review is standard form to factored form. So this form is a review because all we're going to do is factor like we've been doing for years using the box and diamond method or the quadratic formula, whichever you are most comfortable with. However, there is a slight twist. So the only thing that's slightly different with this conversion is we have to do one step before we do the factoring that we're used to. And the first thing that we have to do is we have to factor out A. So factor out, and then I'll color A just so it's clearly our parameter. So you have to factor out A from every term. So if I have my standard form, f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c, I need to pull out that a. And what that will kind of look like, it will be ax squared, but now we have to divide b and c by a. So we'll have like b over ax plus c over a. That way, if we remultiplied everything by a, we'd get a times x squared, which is ax squared, a times b over a, which would just be b, and a times c over a, which would just be c. And if you're wondering why we have to do that, we got to look at factored form. So we need to do that because factored form also has a taken out. So because factored form has a factored out. So because factored form has, again, I'm going to color code it, a factored out. And if you're wondering what I mean, it's because we have that a times x minus p times x minus q. So that a is outside. Whereas when we were doing the box and diamond method in past classes, sometimes we might have like 2x minus 4 times 3x plus 2. But we can't have that 3 and that 2 in front. That's not in factored form. So the very first step we have to do is make sure that a is taken out of everything. So that's the only thing that's different. That's our first step. Then everything else inside of the parentheses we'll deal with like we normally do. So then we just need to factor inside the parentheses using whatever method you want. So I'll write like the box and diamond method. If you like the quadratic formula, that works too. Oh, that got weird. Or any other method. We talked about that Babylonian method in notes. If that was something that really, or not in notes, but in an exit ticket, if that was something that stuck with you, go for it. I don't really care how you solve it. I just care that you do solve it. So let's look at this example. We've got 3x squared plus 6x minus 144. And instead of just immediately drawing our diamond and getting started, remember we got to take out our a value. We have to take out that 3. So now what it's going to look like is 3 times x squared. We have to divide 6 by 3, and we have to divide that 144 by 3. And so what we'll end up with is 3 times x squared plus 2x minus 48. And again, now we're only going to focus on this inside part. And so I actually already completed it, so I'm going to add that here so that we can look at it real quick together. You can use whatever formula or whatever method you want. I have provided the factored form or the quadratic form. So again, we're looking at x squared plus 2x minus 48. What multiplies to negative 48? What adds to 2? Complete the box. And then just don't forget to bring that 3 back in at the very end. So this form works perfectly. If you like the quadratic formula, it's a few more steps. So once you've solved the quadratic formula, remember you have to switch the signs because these are our x-intercepts. In factored form, we always have to switch the signs. So this is what you would end up with if you did the quadratic formula. So in this case, I think factoring actually kind of saves you a little bit of time. The Babylonian method probably also saves you a bunch of time. But any way you do it, you're going to get 3 times x plus 8 times x minus 6. So work this out. If you have any questions about these steps, let me know. But those felt like reviews, so I didn't want to take 10 minutes to go through each step of these parts. I mainly wanted to focus on the idea of first, we have to make sure that A is separated from everything in order to get in proper factored form. So standard form to factored form should feel slightly familiar. Just don't forget that first step and don't forget to bring it back in at the very end. Let me know if this is at all confusing. We can do some extra examples during office hours or another time. Awesome. Have a great day. Bye.